morning. We started at the top of the hour with, 10 minutes to the top of the hour. We started with some thoughts. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, told us to be the hardest worker in the room. Michael Huggins knows what that means. He didn't just relax. He didn't sit back and let other people carry him to the top. He made the difference in his own life. He determined to be the hardest worker in the room, and he's seen the results. Talked about past lessons, thanking you for past lessons, and today I'm ready. Michael's done that. He hasn't always had everything, handed to him. It hasn't always been success. You take failure. He knows it was a bruise, not a tattoo. He didn't take it as a personal, permanent thing. He took the lessons to be learned. He's applied them to today. And look at the success the man's had. He is one of the national trainers in the whole country. And just like Papa John's, he knows that the best ingredients put into our effort will produce the best success. Michael, good morning. We're so glad you're with us, sir.
Good morning, Ron. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for putting these songs together and getting us started today. Appreciate it, Ron. And the consistency is key. So thank you for being here every day and warming us up. All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome. If this is your first Wealthy Wednesday webinar, congratulations. You are in for a treat. And if you're returning, welcome back. Consistency is the name of the game. All right, so I'm going to share my screen here. And we've been talking about, I used to have a rainbow color. Anyway, whatever. People have been asking me, people these days, they're always asking me, how do we balance? Right? What's this thing called balance? How do we balance? I got this, that, and the other. I got to do the marketing side. I want to do the real estate side, right? I want to do this, that. How do I get all the balance? Well, I was thinking about this the other day. What are people trying to balance? They're trying to balance, they're trying to balance their time, work and play, right? How do I balance the work and the play, right? In America, the regular way that people sort it out is 50 weeks of work and 2 weeks of play. It's kind of weird for me. But think about with your money, what would a balance end up? If you were trying to get balanced, you would have some negatives and you would have some positives. So what is a balance? Okay. What about our balanced emotions, right? Do you want to have 6 months of being sad and 6 months of being happy? Is this the kind of balance you're looking for? This is what I'm saying. When people are looking for balance, we're not really looking for balance. What are people meaning when they ask that question? What I'm hearing is, how do I get more of what I want? And the balance is a semi-vague way of trying to get where we're at. Because if we want to balance, balance income, balance work, play, we don't want that. What we want is extremes, right? What we want is overemphasizing one area, right? We want the other end of the spectrum. So we want extreme play, we want all the monies, and we want year-round happiness, right? So there's no balance in that. Isn't that weird? Isn't that interesting? So it's kind of like when people say, when I ask them, hey, what's your goal? What's your goal for this year? And they say, my goal is to get out of debt. Okay. So what they're saying is their goal is $0. They want to get to zero. And if that's one of your goals, I'm going to tell you right now, you got to change it for a couple reasons. One, when you break it down logically, all that means is you have $0. You don't owe anybody anything, but your goal of being out of debt still means zero. So watch your language. And then the other reason you got to change it is it's uninspiring. right? When it's time to get up at 5 a.m. to work on this and stay up until midnight to work on that, and all your goal is to get out of debt, how inspiring is that? Where's the extra energy you need throughout the day to accomplish that? It's not there. So instead of getting out of debt, let's be clear on what we want. We want some extremes. We don't want a balance. And not even want what we're committed to creating. So, so specifically now, in talking about in terms of Renatus and doing our marketing side versus the real estate side. I'm sure the folks on the line here, you guys have seen when you enroll someone and then you don't see them for 4 or 5 months and you're like, what the hell? I thought we were working together. What happened is they got so wrapped up in a real estate project that they still had their job, and now they had to throw this real estate project on top of it, and so they stopped going to the marketing meetings. Well, we know in the marketing side, we have to find the people, tell the story, build for events, and follow up. So how on earth are you going to be doing this stuff while you're at your fix and flip? How are you going to be regularly meeting your guests and answering their questions if you're missing the meetings? Now, most of you don't run a meeting. Some of you do. And so it's obvious for you, you run the meetings. There's no way you're going to let your real estate compete. But this has been an interesting topic because a lot of people have been asking, and I see these people, great potential. They already have some real estate going on. And I'm like, great, how are we using this towards your marketing? And they're like, oh, I haven't been going. I'm like, why, man? There's so much opportunity. Yes, we got the real estate. We have to do our real estate. That's where the wealth is. But there's all this money to be made in the marketing. So what's going on in the mind? So we talked about it. And here's how, a couple things I want you guys to recognize. Will you turn the air on this wall right behind us? This wall? Here you go. All right, welcome back. So I guess I'll let you guys know I got some visitors today. Normally I'm the only one, just hanging out in my office. But today I got some visitors. I got Charlene, I got Natalie, I got Braxton, and we're in the office today, kicking ass, taking names. And so it's got some live folks, interaction. Welcome, everybody. Okay, so balance, right? We're trying to do fix and flips. We're trying to find our rentals. I know a lot of you guys are now getting into notes, which I highly recommend. Okay. So let's first look at the key marketing schedule. What kind of marketing schedule do you need to do in order to make sure that you have time to do real estate? Okay. Actually, you know what? We really need to look at it two different ways. If you still have a job, you still have a job that is confiscating your time and your money, then do the marketing, because you will replace your income faster doing this. You will replace your income faster doing the marketing if you still have a job, because to me, the marketing learning curve, so let's think about it this way. To learn marketing, 10 hours. You go watch your 10-step training and you freaking go to town. Get to getting 10 hours of learning, and then it is going to be 4 hours a week. 4 hours a week. Why do I say 4 hours a week? Because you're going to the first exposure, which is 2 hours, and then you're going to the follow-up, which is 2 hours. Now, this boggles my mind. So maybe you guys can help me put a stop to this. Okay. We need to, okay. What goes on is in this effort of finding the people, telling the story, building for events and following up, right? We're finding the people. We're running into them. We're meeting them. We're talking. We're getting their info. We're telling the story. We're building for events. We're saying, come to this, come to this. You'll love this. You got to meet this person, right? We're doing all the talking. And then we have our first exposure at that event. And we'll see a big majority of the team. And then the very next day, it's time for the second exposure. And we see sometimes a 70% attendance reduction. Why would 100 people, 100 IMAs, come to the first meeting, and then only 30 IMAs come to the follow-up? What's happening? Why are people doing this? What is going on? So, when I was talking to, I used to be in charge of the follow-up in Salt Lake City. That was the thing I did, right? Mitch set them up. I spiked them down, right? Teamwork, volleyball. So I did the follow-up for so long, and I was like, you know what? We gotta start building up these new folks. Why are people not coming to the follow-up? Do you know where the fortune is? In case you guys didn't know, the fortune is in the follow-up. So don't be one of those IMAs that says, well, you know, I'm a part-timer. I go to one meeting a week. What? And what happens is people made that decision because they're trying to achieve balance. I still got to balance with my family. I got to balance with my work. I got to balance with my sleep. I got to balance with this new business. And what happens is I see this too often. We got a new IMA. We got this new guy. Woohoo! New person, new on the team, new IMA right here. And their spouse has never been to any events. Now, what drove this person to the meeting? Right? What drove them to the meeting was they need more money and they need more time. Right? Quieres más. Más tiempo, más dinero. Okay, learning every day. What drove them to the meeting is they wanted these resources. Yes. So then they go home and they say, great news, honey. Great news. I'm going to spend money and time. And she goes, what? Or he goes, what? What are you talking about? You're supposed to go to the meeting to get money and time. And you're telling me now you're going to spend money and time? What? No, this isn't going to work. What do you, and there's frustration. Okay. This is what I'm saying. If we're trying to find the balance and we say, all right, well, and this IMA is now talking to the skeptical other half. They're saying, okay, well, fine. I'll just go to one meeting a week. Right? That way I can still make this and this and this and this and this. And then all that really happens is you just end up spending a lot more time and you're not getting as much money as you want because you're not following up. You're not doing the follow-up. That's where the fortune is. Change it. Change it to two meetings a week. It will be more time. And guess what? Way mucho más dinero. Mucho más. Muy mucho más dinero. Okay? Think about it. You're going to go from 2 to 3 hours, which was one meeting a week, right? You got to drive there. And you're going to bump it up to 4 to 6 hours. Okay? A week. That's what you're going to change the time. And the result, you're going to go from $1,000 a month, if you're doing that. I know some of you aren't, and this is why I'm talking about it now. You're going to go from $1,000 a month to $10,000 a month. Okay? So this person loves you so much that they want to spend time with you. And you love them so much, you want to spend time with them. But unfortunately, the perspective is that the business is now competing with this time. They go, this time right here is competing with this time, with the family, with the kids, with working out, with the gym, with the other, whatever we're trying to do. They look at it as competing with the time. And the mistake is it's still a job. You still got something else you're having to do for money, which is ultimately competing and taking the most time. So if we look at it this way, right, we have 168 hours in a week. 168 hours in a week. All of us, each one. It's good news. That's plenty, by the way, to create massive wealth. We have 168 hours in a week, and right now, before your prospect shows up, or you, right, you might be this new IMA that's like, holy crap, thank you for this training. This is exactly what's happening. You have your 168 hours, and you've already allocated all of them, right? You've allocated all the hours. And then here I am showing up, and I say, all right, so I need you to get on trainings, and I need you to show up to meetings for 6 hours a week. Twice a week, you got to show up. And you're like, well, I've already allocated my week, so could you just send me a paycheck? Right? It doesn't really come out in those words, but the hope is still there. I just signed up, so can I just get money now? No. You have to work. You got to become a better version of you to get the next level of money that you want. Okay, so this time's already allocated. Not only are you talking to your mentor or your trainer about it, but now you got to go talk to your spouse and your family about it. Hey, I know we've already allocated this time, but now I need 4 to 6 more hours. Let's stick with 6 hours. You got travel time. Hey, 6 more hours of your time. I'm gonna have to go spend that time on this business so I can get mucho más muy dinero, so that I can quit the job so I can have all the time with you. Okay? So there's this juggle almost. This is why some people think it's balance, because it's juggling, and in order to juggle, you got to have a rhythm and a balance. But do you think a juggler is calm? Do you think a juggler sleeps well? Do you think a juggler can be where they are? Right? If you're at the beach and someone's juggling, they're constantly thinking about work. And then when they're at work, if they're constantly juggling, they're thinking about the beach. And so they're not enjoying either. They're not productive in either. So instead of trying to juggle, we're not juggling. There's no juggling here. That's not what we're trying to do. Okay? Temporarily, you might need to juggle. And if you explain this to the peeps in your life, and you get clear with them, and you're clear with yourself, it's a temporary juggle. It would be an indefinite juggle if you don't follow up. This is what I'm trying to say. The fortune is in the follow-up. And if you don't follow up, fortune's in the follow-up. If you don't follow up, you will become a permanent juggler. So I was explaining this in a very passionate way to my friend Dane Clark. I think you guys have met Dane, right? First year inside Renatus, he made $100,000 with the marketing side and the real estate side combined, right? Putting the whole operation together. And he did it in a way where he was able to quit his job very quickly because he did the marketing side up front, dumped all the time into it, and never missed a meeting. He put the time into this. and from the get-go, he understood it's 2 meetings a week. We want to say, yes, rely on the system and plug in and we'll help you close your sales. And yeah, you can only do so much though, because the person you send, if they see you there, then they're going to go, cool, you're in, I'm in. But if you send them and you're not there, you don't go to the follow-up, but you expect them to go to the follow-up. No wonder you don't make any money. Bob Snyder made it so we could get $10,000 per customer checks. How many customers you want per week? Okay, so think about your experience when you went through the invitation into the first meeting, then you went to the follow-up. If you're on board full blown, is probably because the person went to the follow-up with you, or did the follow-up, did it with you, right? Met you, did the follow-up. If you keep relying, you're one of the IMAs, you're a part-timer, and you keep relying on other people to do your follow-ups, you're only going to make a couple bucks. And the justification, it's not that the system sucks, it's that you suck. Now, I know. Some people are like, "Oh, Michael, that was mean." I'm talking about a skill development, right? If I give you a brand new instrument, you've never used it, you're going to suck at it. So, don't take it personal. If you want to reduce the amount of time you suck in this business, you go to 2 meetings a week. The fortune is in the follow-up. The difference between people who make 5 figures a year, 6 figures a year, and now the 7 figures a year, people are going to start making that this year. An extra meeting a week, an extra one. Now, sometimes, I'm just saying, extra meeting a week. But sometimes I'll get IMAs over here and they go, but Saturday. What about Saturday? I work all week at my job. You make me come to 2 meetings a week, and now you're asking me to use my Saturday? That's what it sounds like in my head. I don't think anyone's actually, none of you sound like that. But in my head, because of where you're coming from, why you're saying this, and you're justifying you work all week, and now you're going to all these marketing meetings. Now you got to come to Super Saturday and the intensives and the house tours. But Saturday, that is, my friends, that is your old W-2 brain still showing up saying Saturday's a break day. Saturday's my day off. Saturday's my family day. Saturday's the day I sleep in. Saturday's the day I do my housework. Why? Do Saturday on Tuesday. Do housework on Tuesday. Why don't you do housework on Tuesday? Well, I can't do Tuesday. I got my job. Well, okay. If you keep putting your job over your housework and then your housework over your business, you don't get a business. You get a job and you get your housework done. Okay? There's going to be an overdose of work for a few weeks or months, depending on your skill set when you came in. Okay? But here's what we know. Here is what we know. We want an expansion, right? We want, what I'm saying, mucho más. We want an expansion, I can spell, of our time and our money. We want these 2 resources to expand, right? An expansion. What I've found really reliable is Mother Nature. And she's very, very reliable. In nature, before every expansion, there is a contraction. Okay, so here we are trying to expand. I want more free time. I want more free time. I want extra play money. Okay, great. So we want to have an expansion in this arena. Before every expansion, Mother Nature requires it. There is a contraction. Okay, so your free time is actually going to go down for a little bit because you're going to go to 2 meetings a week and you're going to go to Thursdays. You're going to contract and you're going to figure it out. You're going to make that money and boom, you can expand your free time. You just drop 40, 50 hours a week because now you have $10,000 a month coming in. So before every expansion comes a contraction. Let's not fool ourselves. Let's not wish it were another way, right? This isn't about trying to change the seasons. We can't order 5 summers, 7 winters, 32 springs because they're your favorite. You don't get to do that, right? So let's not mess with the cycles. Let's not mess with the way things are. Before every expansion comes a contraction. So now what we're going to do is make sure that we're clear on that. When we talk to our spouse, when we talk to our new IMA, new spouse. when a new IMA talks to their spouse or their other half, now they know, look, sweetheart, there's going to be a contraction. You're not going to see me on Wednesdays or Thursdays or Fridays or Tuesdays or Thursdays, whatever market you're in, and Saturdays. Because I want this business to produce. If my job's only making $100,000 a year, I want a business produce $200,000 a year. I got to go to the Saturdays. But what's cool is once you're on the other side of this thing, once you're on the other side, and now instead of spending, 50 hours at the job and then another 10 hours on the business, you will only spend 10 hours on the business, and the 50 hours job will go away. Then you'll have a totally different challenge. My God, as soon as you quit your job, everyone's going to want your time. You're going to have a whole new challenge of how to say no to people. I'm telling you, right now you think you don't have any free time, you're going to quit your job, then you'll really see it's not about the job, it's about a mentality of protecting your time. If you remember, these people go, well, I can't do this because I have my job. Can't do this because I have my job. Change your language. I can't do that because I'm running a business. I can't do your thing on Saturday because I'm running a business, right? You do the same thing. Hey, let's go have lunch on Thursday. No, I can't. I have my job. You still justify. Well, that's how you make money, right? And you justify it that way. What I'm saying is get clear on what you really want. Stop protecting the thing you want to get rid of. You want more time. You want more money. It's going to come from using Bob Snyder's system. Bob Snyder's system is find the people, tell the story, build for events, and follow up. How can you follow up if you only go to one event a week? So once it's clear that we have this expansion contraction, now we don't have to wonder, when is this going to end, right? These people who are stuck in this cycle and they're only doing one meeting a week, they're spending that time, they're spending extra money because now that's extra gas money. They got to buy nicer clothes or whatever to go. If they go to it's just extra money and time to go. But if you're only half-assing it, you get half-ass checks. It's not. Bob Snyder doesn't pay for half-assing, right? Real estate doesn't pay for half-assing. You can't half-ass a fix and flip and get paid. So we got a whole asset. I think that's a new technical term. Okay, now, if you really want to make this work, you're going to have to spend time on training too. Right? There's time on training. We talked about attending the meetings, but you also have to watch these trainings too. So some of you are lucky enough that now you're full-time in Renatus and you can attend these live and ask questions. But some of you guys are still catching the recordings. On your way home, when you wake up early, when you stay up late, this is when you catch the meetings, the trainings. Okay, sometimes I'll have IMAs, I'll ask them where they were. Hey, why did you miss the meeting? They're like, oh, well, I'm trying to get this real estate deal done. And so I was watching some class. I'm like, what? You know that there are real estate investors at the meeting who have resources and can help. Why did you stay home? Like, well, I'm really trying to work hard. And really what it is they're trying to show their spouse, this lovely person over here, they're trying to show this person that they're using the product, right? They're consuming the education so that they can go do a deal. But deals still take months and months and months. Sometimes, I guess you're doing wholesaling or getting some rentals sometimes, and so they go, well, I'm going to withdraw from the marketing, right? Because what happened is you were half-assing it. It's a chain of events. When you half-ass, right? You got this person over here watching you work. You're excited. You're like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And this person's like, really? Let's see. I'm going to keep an eye on you. Okay? So here's you. You just spent your money, 20 grand. Boom. All right. And of course more, because now you got to set it up an LLC. You got to do some marketing, right? And then now you're going to allocate 6 hours a week to this. Oh, but you go, no, I don't want to upset them. So I'm just going to do 3 hours a week. I'm just going to go to one meeting. I don't want to upset this person. All right, honey, look, I'm only spending 20 grand, but we're going to do a real estate deal and make it back. And I'm going to go to these meetings. And all this person hears is, I'm going to spend the time I spend with you over here. I still love you. Okay. This is why we're with these people. We want to spend all the time with them. And now we're saying, well, I'm going to go spend time over here. The more you contract that, the sooner you can expand it. Okay. But what happens is now you're trying to also, spend 3 to maybe 10 hours a week trying to get these classes into your head. So that's even more time you're spending not with this person. So months go by and this person's patience runs out. The patience runs out, months go by, and all that's happened is money has left the bank account and hours have left the calendar. That's all that's happened in this person's perspective, right? They're watching you work. They're watching you sit in front of the computer. They're watching you analyze deals. They're watching you get dressed up and shave, go to the meeting and try to get a prospect. And they're watching you do all this, right? They're watching, but all that they are looking for are the 2 things you said you were going to do. You said you were going to make more money, and you said you were going to have more free time because of it. Well, I've been watching for months, and my patience has run out. You haven't made any more money, and the strain on the time, right? We're trying to get this and this done, and we've got soccer lessons here, and and then this person now feels like they're juggling, right? This person feels like they're juggling. They're like, I didn't sign up for this. Now I got to juggle. And you're saying, well, look, we're going to make more money doing this thing. And because you only go to 1 meeting a week, your business isn't producing like other people's businesses. So then your confidence starts to what? Go down. Their belief starts to go down. Patience starts to go down. Right? And all they're seeing is the cash flow went down. Then, for you to maintain, if you say, look, sweetheart, okay, here's what we'll do. I'm going to drop this. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm just going to focus on real estate. So then you have your crap-ass job, and now you're trying to do real estate, but you don't go to the meetings where the real estate investors are. You don't go to the meetings where you're going to be replacing your paychecks. And so the justification was because you love somebody. You want to keep spending that time with them, and you have to make that money back. You spent that 20 grand. You got to make it back. And so you're saying, all right, well, I spent it for real estate. I'm going to go do real estate. And then the challenge is you made a switch because of low confidence. You made a switch because of low patience, low cash, and low belief. You cut out the marketing thing. And when you make a switch like that, it ends up with a ripple effect, and it lowers things a little bit more. And now you're not around those high energy people. We're also doing the real estate. You're just sitting in a dark room watching classes because you're spending all the waking hours with people, and you spend all the nighttime hours with classes, and it becomes harder than it needs to, really. So from the get-go, we don't half-ass. Okay? What we're going to do is we're going to make sure it's 6 hours a week. We're going to protect this time like we would protect our job. When we say, I can't do Monday afternoon, I work, you're going to say the same thing. I'm not going to do it Thursday evening. I'm at work. I'm not going to do Saturday mornings. I got work. I got work. Protect that time. 6 hours a week. You're making sure that those follow-ups are happening. Then, what happens with our belief, our confidence, our cash flow, and our patience? All of that stuff just goes up. Right? All of that goes up. Boom. And now, this person says, hey, when are you going to quit that job? And you go, oh yeah, I can quit that job because I know how to find the people, tell the story, build for events, and follow up, which is where we get paid. I know how to do that. I don't skip those meetings. You can quit the job, and now that you know how to run the whole system, all the steps, now you go from $1,000 a month to 10,000 a month to 20,000 a month. Nate Lambert, 30,000 a month. Mitch Nelson, 40,000 a month, right? That's all this is. But because we were trying to balance work and play and time and marketing, and really we tried to make that balance, we unintentionally made a system that was going to collapse on itself. Okay? Now everyone's got a little bit different experiences going through this, but this is the one I tend to see a lot of. And in order to make it work, man, the fortune is in that follow-up. Do not skip. Don't look for balance. Let's look for extremes. I want an extremely profitable business. I want extreme control over my emotions, right? I want extreme time on the beach. I want extreme balances in my bank account. Okay, let's open it up for some Q&A or some clarity. Anything you guys want to bring up on this topic? Let's talk about it. Let's ask some questions. Sharing is caring, or if this has happened to you and you know what I'm talking about, and you feel like sharing your story so that others can learn, put your hand in the air. You can come off mute. If you want to ask your question, you can ask your question. You can type your question. Are we still on talking terms?
Hi, can you hear me?
Miguel, ¿qué pasa?
Hey there. Hey, Michael.
What's up?
I just wanted to raise a flag and say that I would love to do all this. I'm in Fort Collins every single day. I work up here. This is my job, but I want to find the people. So I'm up here. I am thinking it's a great opportunity to find the people up in Fort Collins. So, like I said, putting the flag up. I'm up here every day. If anybody else is up here or knows people up here, it'd be great to get some events up here for folks who are up here. Obviously, shuffling them down to the big city, but I'm up here every day of the week and would love to make it work for me while I'm up here and back and forth. So just putting the flag up, and everything you said today, I think, can happen anywhere. So why not where you are? And I am in Fort Collins every day.
Okay, right on. What's your last name, Miguel?
Gomez Hernandez.
Miguel Gomez Hernandez from Fort Collins.
I live in Denver, and I work in Fort Collins.
Okay.
I live in Superior.
Okay, right on. So you know Jay Stark's coming Super Saturday. You're going to be there, right?
Absolutely.
Sweet. Okay. And that's the thing, man. And folks on the line, when you understand that the system is repeatable anywhere in the country, you can make money anywhere in the country, right? It's about control. This is what Bob Snyder's giving us. So.
Thank you.
What's up?
So, Braxton and I, we're staying here with Michael because it's amazing and he's so kind and generous. But one thing that we do, or we try to do, is we try to bring up the fears and the expectations that we have, especially when it comes to the spouses, because we've had those discussions where, like, you're not with me and you're not spending time with me and I want to be with you. And his job is just as intensive as mine, and he's meeting people, you know, outside of their work schedule from the 9 to 5 because he's a therapist. So either way, we don't really see much time with each other. So it's really hard to have these conversations, but being able to have the conversations and open it up and explain and express the fact that you do want to be with them, but you also want a better future with them. I think is a big deal, because a lot of times we shy away from those confrontations and those that story that we play in our head of like, oh well, the wife doesn't or the husband doesn't really support me, things like that. But if you bring it up and you actually express it, you're already hedging the bet against that conflict that you might have. So talk to him about it. Let him know what's going on rather than keeping him in the dark.
Right, and then not going to that breaking point where you're like, finally, like, okay, fine, I'll drop this one thing so that I can spend more time over here.
And if I could add to it, because I am the partner, and I'm doing the kind of the full-time job thing as we're building all this, the contraction before the expansion is really rings true. But know that one of the things that came up for me was when Natalie went to the first, she went on Thursday and I wasn't able to because of my job. And then I went to the follow-up, and it kind of didn't, that started to make some more sense. But it really, when I went to the meeting, I'd say that when you go to those first meetings, when you can get to Thursday and then take them to the follow-up so they can understand and kind of start catching the vision, even if they can't be in it 100% in the education and things like that, that gives more insight, and you don't have to carry the entire burden of explaining Renatus and the vision of Renatus to a partner or a spouse.
Okay, right on. Thanks, guys. Okay, Sandra, what do you say to follow up with guests who are interested in the past but never purchased, who you haven't spoken to in maybe 2 to 3 months? The first 2 words are great news. Usually when you start something, Sandra, with great news, people listen. So you say, great news, the price is going up. So you can still sign up now at a discount. Great news, I just learned. Another one is I just learned. Great news and I just learned. But in order for something, if you're looking for something specific, I need more details about this person you're trying to follow up with. So while she's typing that, does anyone else have a question, comment, concern, complaint? Okay. They were interested and went through all the process, but never heard from again. No response. Okay. So you reach out to them, the great news thing doesn't work. You could say, did you enter the witness protection program? Or did I offend you? And then they're going to go, whoa, sorry, no, you didn't offend me. No. Sorry, I've been this, I've been that. But if you're like, yeah, man, look, I thought we had a great thing going. So either you entered the witness protection program, or I missed something, or I offended you. What's going on? Or I mean, it kind of depends, because if you really had something going with them, and then all of a sudden they went ghost on you, you can say, hey, am I like your worst nightmare? Right? Because you're running from me. Am I your worst nightmare? That's another one that gets some quick responses. Witness protection program. Great news. Did I offend you? Am I your worst nightmare? Because all we were trying to do is re-engage, and then once you have them, you're like, look, I don't know about you, but in the last 2 or 3 months, did you make progress like you said you wanted to? When you first talked, you shared with me what you wanted to accomplish. Are you closer? Right? It's been 3 months. It's a quarter of the year. That's 2018, man. We got half a year left. right? Talk in terms of you're trying to help them. We got 2 more quarters. Did this last quarter treat you the way you wanted to? Did you make the changes that you were hoping to create? I mean, you answered my ad. You wanted more time and more money. Did you make that happen? Because if you did, then great. I'll stop bothering you. But if not, then you still need to hear about Bob Snyder's system, and you need to get involved. Right? Put it back on them. Don't be one of those people. This is a great time, especially in June. We're halfway point. Reach back out to people. Hey, are you closer? Are you halfway there? Right? You had a goal 2018. We're halfway there. Are halfway done with the year? Are you halfway to your goal? If not, let's have a talk. Our system's been improved. July 1st, new improvements. If your goal and you want to catch up to your 2018 goal, let's talk. I got new things for you. And then tell them, say, don't be another statistic, another one of those 99% who start with a big goal at the end of the year and never hit it. Let's have this year be your best year ever. Right? June is a perfect time to remind people, half of the year has been used. Are you halfway to your goal? If not, let's reassess. Cool. Good question. Okay, remember the fortunes in the follow-up. So in the follow-up, fortune is in the follow-up. So guys, remember, these are recorded and put into the Elevate Renatus YouTube channel. So if you got IMAs, you don't need to see these, send them the links. Insist they watch. Speaking of that word insist, that's a great word. Think about when this word comes up, this word insist. When does it usually show up? It usually shows up when we're trying to hold a door open for somebody, right? You're like, oh, well, you go, no, you go, no, I insist. And then someone goes through the door. Whoever insists usually gets what they want in that situation. Same thing if you you have a piece of dessert or something, people are like, oh, no, I'm stuffed. And you're like, nah, just try it. And you're like, no, I'm full, I couldn't. You're like, come on, I insist. And they go, okay, 1 bite. So insisting. Start insisting your people attend the follow-up and start insisting they sign up. I insist you get started at least the essentials this week. Maybe in the fall we could talk about you getting your combo if that's too much for you right now. But the essentials, you know what? I insist you get that. Right, when you insist, and you're like, what? You insist? Oh, come on, man. This is good for you. I'm holding the door open. You got to try this chocolate cake. You got to get an essentials. I insist. So some of you, if you just insist more, you'll get paid more. Right? At the end of the day, we're doing them a favor. We're doing them a favor all the way around. You can only insist if you believe you're doing them a favor, right? So it's the same thing here. Hey, I insist you do this. I insist you get involved. I insist you pay less tax. I insist you pay less interest. I insist. That's a shirt right there. I insist you pay less tax. Ask me how. Or I insist you come and check it out. I insist you come do a house tour. I insist you come over to my house and we watch a couple hours of training. Right? Think about it. If someone watched 2 or 3 hours of your favorite class, and they're like, man, I see why you're so excited about it now. You watch it with them, invite them over, go over to their house, watch a couple hours with them, they will be blown away. Right? Some people need a sample. Baskin Robbins, baby, give them some flavors. Okay, well, if there are no more questions, I think I'm going to take the no questions as a compliment, which means I answered all of them in 42 minutes. So good job, me. Perfect. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. It's Wealthy Wednesday. Stay focused on your goals. Be clear on what you want. Maybe you need to review this recording. Okay, it'll be up later today because Ron is consistent as can be. All right, guys, thanks so much. Talk to you soon.